Picture this. You wake up at 6 a.m., your alarm goes off, you check your bank account. Same number as yesterday, same number as last month, maybe even less. You go to work, you come home, you scroll your phone, you go to sleep, and you tell yourself, tomorrow I'll start. Tomorrow I'll be more disciplined. Tomorrow I'll save more. Tomorrow I'll invest. But tomorrow never comes. Now picture someone else, same age as you, maybe even less talented, but they wake up with a completely different operating system running in their head, a system built over centuries, refined through failure, war, poverty, and rebuilding. A system so powerful that the country it comes from became the third largest economy on the planet, with almost zero natural resources.
Welcome.
I'm talking about Japan. And today, I'm going to give you the 10 best Japanese habits that will genuinely change your financial life, if you're willing to actually apply them. Not just watch, not just nod along, actually apply. My name is Max, and if you're new here, this channel is about one thing: building real wealth, not fake flexing. So if that's what you're here for, let's get into it. Habit number 1, Ikigai. Know why you're working. Here's the first reason most people stay broke forever. They have no idea why they're working. They clock in, they clock out. They chase a salary, they chase a title. But they have zero clarity on what they actually want their life to look like. The Japanese have a concept called Ikigai. It roughly translates to your reason for being. But from a financial perspective, it means this: you need to find the intersection between what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. Why does this matter for money? Because people who work inside their Ikigai don't just work harder, they work smarter, they're more focused, they're more creative. They outlast everyone else in the room because they're not just grinding for a paycheck. They're building something that actually means something to them. The richest people in the world, whether it's Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, or the guy who owns the best ramen shop in Tokyo, they all share one thing. They found what they were built to do, and then they went all in on it. Before you touch a single investment strategy, before you read a single finance book, sit down and ask yourself, why am I doing this? Because if your answer is just, I want more money, that's not strong enough to get you through the hard days. And trust me, there will be hard days. Habit number 2, Kaizen. 1% better every single day. This one is probably the most famous Japanese concept in the productivity world. And there's a reason for that. It works. Kaizen means continuous improvement, but not dramatic, overnight improvement. Small, consistent, relentless improvement. The Japanese industrial system was rebuilt on this idea after World War II. Companies like Toyota didn't become world-class by making one giant leap. They made thousands of tiny improvements every single day for decades, and you need to apply this to your finances. Most people think getting rich is about one big move, one big investment, one viral business idea, one lottery ticket. But real wealth is built through compounding, and compounding requires consistency over time. What does 1% better look like financially? Maybe today you read 10 pages of a finance book. Tomorrow you listen to one episode of a wealth-building podcast. Next week you cut one unnecessary subscription. The week after that you increase your savings rate by 2%. None of these moves are dramatic, but stacked on top of each other over months and years, they create a completely different financial reality. The problem is that people underestimate how powerful this is because the results aren't immediately visible. But here's the math. If you improve by just 1% every day for a year, you'll be 37 times better than where you started. 37 times, not 1.37 times. 37. Stop waiting for the big opportunity. Start making small daily improvements. That's Kaizen. Habit number 3, Hara Hachi. Boo. Spend only 80% of what you earn. The Japanese have a saying that they use before meals, Hara Hachi Bu. It means eat until you are 80% full. It's a practice that comes from Okinawa, one of the places with the highest concentration of people who live past 100 years old. But here's how I want you to apply this concept to money. Spend only 80% of what you earn. Always. This is not a new idea, but the Japanese actually live it, and that's what makes it different. The average savings rate in Japan is significantly higher than in Western countries. People in Japan don't save what's left after spending. They save first, and then they spend what's left. This is called paying yourself first, and it's one of the most fundamental rules of building wealth. If you earn $3,000 a month, you save $600 before you do anything else. That money goes into a savings account, an investment account, or an index fund. Before you even think about rent, food, or entertainment, you live on the remaining 80%. Will it feel tight at first? Yes. But here's what happens. You adapt. You find a way to live on 80%, and every year, as your income grows, that saved 20% grows with it. Do this for 10 years, and you will have a financial cushion that most people your age can only dream about. Habit number 4. Matanai. Waste nothing. Matanai is a Japanese term that expresses deep regret over waste. It's a cultural mindset where you feel genuine discomfort at the idea of wasting anything: time, food, money, materials, opportunity. In a consumer culture built on disposability, this concept is almost radical. Think about your life right now. How much are you wasting? That gym membership you haven't used in 4 months, that's motanai. The food you buy and throw away, that's matanai. The hours you spend mindlessly scrolling when you could be learning a new skill, that's matanai. Wealthy people, real wealthy people, are almost obsessive about not wasting. Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought in 1958. He clips coupons. He drives himself to McDonald's, not because he can't afford better, because he genuinely hates waste. Here's your practical challenge. For the next 30 days, track every single dollar you spend. Every single one. At the end of the month, look at the list. I promise you, you will find at least $200 to $500 of pure waste. Money that went nowhere. Money that bought you zero happiness, zero progress, zero return. Cut the waste. Redirect that money. That's motanai. Habit number 5. Ganbaru. Commit fully or don't start. Ganbaru means to persist, to do your best, to give everything you have to a task. In Japanese culture, starting something and quitting halfway is deeply frowned upon. If you commit to something, you see it through. Now think about your financial goals. How many times have you said you were going to start investing and then didn't? How many times have you said you were going to start a side hustle and then quit after 2 weeks? How many savings challenges have you started and abandoned? The problem isn't that you're lazy. The problem is that you're not committing. You're testing the water with your toes instead of jumping in. Ganbaru is about a different energy. It's about deciding, this is happening, period. When you approach your finances with Ganbaru, you don't dabble. You don't try to invest a little and see how it goes. You educate yourself deeply, you set a real plan, and you execute that plan with total commitment. You're not interested in excuses. You're not interested in what ifs. You're all in. Pick one financial goal right now, just one, and apply Ganbaru to it. Not for 2 weeks, for 12 months. Watch what happens. Habit number 6. The Kakeibo method. Master your money mindfully, forget budgeting apps for a second. The Japanese invented something much more powerful back in 1904. It's called Kakeibo, and it's a handwritten household financial journal. Here's how it works. At the start of every month, you sit down with a notebook and you answer 4 questions. How much money do I have available this month? How much do I want to save? How much am I spending? How can I improve from last month? That's it. No app required, no complicated spreadsheet. Just honest, deliberate, handwritten reflection on your finances. Studies have actually shown that writing things down by hand creates a deeper cognitive connection than typing. When you physically write, I spent $400 on food delivery this month, it hits differently than seeing it on an app. It creates what psychologists call friction. a moment of discomfort that forces you to confront your behavior. The Kakebo method doesn't just help you track money. It helps you understand your relationship with money. And your relationship with money is everything. Because if you secretly believe that money is bad, or that you don't deserve to be rich, or that rich people are greedy, those beliefs will sabotage every financial strategy you ever try. Get a notebook. Start this weekend. Use Kakebo. Habit number 7. Mono. Know aware. Embrace impermanence and invest anyway. Mono no aware is a Japanese concept that translates roughly to the bittersweet awareness of impermanence. It's the understanding that everything is temporary: beauty, life, success, failure, and that this impermanence is what makes everything precious. Now, what does this have to do with money? Everything. One of the biggest financial mistakes people make is that they refuse to invest because of fear. Fear of market crashes. Fear of losing money, fear of making the wrong decision. They sit on cash, waiting for the perfect time to invest, while inflation quietly destroys their purchasing power year by year. Mono no aware teaches you to make peace with impermanence. The market will go up, the market will go down, businesses will succeed and fail. Economic cycles will come and go. None of this is a reason to stay on the sidelines. It's simply the nature of money, of life, of everything. The Japanese experienced one of the worst economic collapses in modern history, the asset price bubble collapse in the 1990s. It wiped out trillions, and yet Japan adapted. It rebuilt. It survived. Markets always recover. That's not blind optimism. That's 200 years of documented financial history. Stop letting fear of impermanence keep you broke. Accept that there will be volatility. Accept that you might lose in the short term, and invest anyway, consistently, for the long term. That is the move. Habit number 8, Shokunin spirit. Master your craft and the money will follow. In Japan, there's a word for someone who dedicates their entire life to perfecting a single craft: shokunin. Whether it's a sushi chef who spends 10 years learning to prepare rice before they're allowed to touch fish, or a carpenter who spends decades mastering joinery, the shokunin spirit is about obsessive, almost spiritual mastery. And here's what the West gets completely wrong about wealth. Most people are out here trying to make money directly. They're chasing the highest paying job, the hottest crypto, the fastest flip. But the shokunin mindset says, master something deeply, and the money will chase you. Think about the people in your field who earn 5 to 10 times what the average earns. What's the difference? It's not luck. It's not connections. Not primarily, it's mastery. They are so good at what they do that people will pay a premium for their skills. They are irreplaceable. And irreplaceable people don't negotiate from weakness. They set their price. What's your craft? What skill, if you spent the next 3 to 5 years going genuinely deep on, would make you one of the best in your market? That is your path to disproportionate income. Not hopping between trends, not copying whoever is hot right now, going deep. Apply the shokunin spirit to your career, your business, your investing knowledge. Become a master, the money will come. Habit number 9. MA. The power of strategic patience. Ma is a Japanese concept that refers to negative space, the pause, the gap, the silence between notes and music, or the empty space in a room. In Japanese art and culture, the empty space is considered just as important as what fills it. In financial terms, Ma is patience. Strategic, deliberate, intentional patience. Here's where most investors blow themselves up. They can't sit still. They buy a stock, it drops 8%, and they panic sell. They start an online business, it doesn't make money in month 2, and they quit. They put money into an index fund. They watch it go sideways for 6 months and they pull out. The inability to do nothing, to sit in the ma, to be comfortable in the empty space, destroys more wealth than any bad investment ever could. The greatest investors in history are defined by their patience. Warren Buffett holds stocks for decades. The Japanese rice traders of the Edo period, who literally invented candlestick charting, understood that waiting for the right moment was more powerful than constant action. Here's your new rule. Before you make any financial move out of emotion, whether it's panic selling or FOMO buying, you wait 72 hours. Minimum. You sit in the ma. You let the emotional noise settle. And then you make the decision from clarity, not from fear or greed. That one habit alone could save you thousands of dollars. Habit number 10. Kojo Shin, the relentless pursuit of self-improvement. The final habit is perhaps the most important. In Japanese manufacturing culture, Kojo Shin refers to the internal drive toward constant self-improvement, not because someone told you to, not for a reward, but because it's who you are. Here's the brutal truth that most personal finance content won't tell you. Your income is not limited by the market, by the economy, or by your circumstances. Your income is limited by your knowledge, your skills, and your mindset. The ceiling of your financial life is the ceiling of your personal development. That sounds harsh, but it's also the most empowering thing you'll ever hear, because it means you are in control. The wealthy are, without exception, obsessive learners. They read constantly. They seek out mentors. They study people who have what they want. They invest in themselves, in courses, in coaching, in experiences that expand their perspective. Not because they have money to burn, but because they understand that every dollar spent on self-improvement can compound into $10, $20, or $100 of a future income. If you spent just 30 minutes a day on deliberate self-improvement, reading about investing, studying your industry, learning marketing or sales or negotiation, within 5 years, you would be in the top 5% of knowledge in almost any field. And the top 5% does not struggle to find opportunities. Opportunities find them. Kojo Shin means committing to being a lifelong student of wealth, of business, of yourself. It means never being satisfied with where you are, not because you're unhappy, but because you know you are capable of more. The system that changes everything. Let's bring this all together. Ikigai, know your why. Kaizen, improve 1% every day. Harahachi-bu, spend only 80% of what you earn. Mottainai, waste nothing. Ganbaru, commit fully. Kakebo, manage your money mindfully. Mono no aware, invest despite impermanence. Shokunin, master your craft. Ma, be strategically patient. And Kojo Shin, never stop improving. These aren't tips. They're not hacks. They're a philosophy. And if you adopt even half of these habits consistently, I promise you, your financial life will look completely different in 24 months. But here's the thing. Watching this video doesn't change anything. Knowing this information doesn't change anything. Application changes everything. So right now, before you click away, pick one habit from this list. Just one. Write it down and commit to it for the next 30 days. That's your homework. Now tell me in the comments what video you want me to make next. See you, mate.